Plat's goldish level, try not to just tunnel on pummeling the enemy tank, please. It's satisfying when doing it, which is why people always do it. But you really are looking to zone away squishies or try and reach on top of squishies and not just spam mouse click onto the enemy tank the entire time. We'll also see how you use your shield, especially if you're playing to something like Ana. Because your shield isn't very flexible like Sigma, it can actually be difficult to walk without shield. So most of the time, your shield will be used to just mark an Ana or allow you to walk forward without, getting slept or naded or anything crazy. But yeah, we'll see how it pans out here. Unless your comp is your comp's not really built to just run over the enemy tank. We'll see though.
I struggle a lot into Orisa, Bastion, Zen.
Right, Bastion and Zen, the same kind of thing applies to Ana, but Orisa, of course, she's difficult to play into, even for, at the highest level. Again, it's just making sure you're able to maneuver around the Orisa where and when possible. And because Orisa's CD, her sustain is highly linked to her CDs, and when she hasn't got Fortify, she's really punishable. So that's also your downtime for your cycles too, is pushing her without Fortify. We'll see how this pans out here. Okay. Coming out spawn's fine. Okay, Malga. Okay, Ashe as well. Okay. Just look to try and walk to the top left if you can. Okay, your Widow just kills 2, that's fine. Just put down the
Bro,
enemy Malga.
what?
Yeah, your Widow
That's crazy.
Just put down the enemy Malga. Fine. Try and pick up his armor. Put on the side too. You can enter your form when needed. You're in a 5v3 right now. Yeah, got the storm.
Okay.
Okay, yeah, enter your form. Okay, walking the top's fine. Fine. Okay, fine. I would not go. You should have just kept pummeling the enemy torb then instead of walking forward. You're walking forward into open space there. Just keep pummeling the enemy torb, and then you can stay in the actual cafe room itself. Where possible, again, your goal is to force out the enemy Malga, poke off his armor, and then again you can reach the torb. You did reach the torb, but again you went too far, and you're kind of oblivious to the enemy Malga stomp. Also swing corners wide as well, so you don't get hit by stomp. Okay, just pick up the enemy Ashe. Try and go top left if possible, clear the high ground, so you can shield off the Ashe and then go top left. Okay, that's not top left. Yeah, just go over the stairs. Okay. Alright. Got the Ashe, you can slow her too. Okay. Fine. Okay, look the shield and walk forward, so try and look in the enemy Ashe, you can slow them too. I haven't used your E yet, see I should have slowed the enemy Ashe there. Juno's fine, you can go form, nice. Good spots, just live, fine. You find the enemy Malga, just shield, yeah, block, fine. Fine. Find the Malga, fine. Place live. Okay. Okay, so when Malga's got this cardiac overdrive, this should be clean up here, so you should be fine. Okay. Yeah, but when Malga's got his cardiac overdrive, just block it. You won't get any healing from it because you're blocking. And you want to interweave your punches when Malga's not shooting you. So he doesn't get any healing off of it. Okay. This is fine. Walking forward's fine here. Okay, you can push the high ground there. You can shield if needed. Go around. You can maybe slow the enemy Juno. Okay, yeah, back off it. Back off. Leave. You can take high grounds. Or you can maybe stall that out, that's fine. You're low here, just be careful. Okay. You can try and go in the enemy Ashe slow if possible. Nice. Okay, you should have showed that beforehand, but it's fine. I kept a block here, you should be fine, you're full HP. Go in torb. Nice. You can shield off the enemy Ashe and whatnot. No fade, no more fade, fine. Catch the Juno. Goodie. Do not overextend here, Juno's probably out. Oh, you're not, you can get her. That's a terrible retreat by her. Okay, now you've got Annihilation. Try and play the right side corner, go all the way around. Can't really explain this that well. You go left side and the whole, literally go forward, nice. Hold that corner. And you can look to go deep with your Annihilation. Okay. Okay. You can try and slow that Juno again. Okay, you got capped, you're fine. Okay, nice. Shield's good. Before we walk forward, yeah, walk forward, walk forward. We can brawl her too. Nice. She should be dead there. Nice. When Anna's got no sleep dot and no nade, you can pop form and really just chase her and walk her down. So that's your visual cue essentially to pop form and walk on the Anna there.
Yeah.
Okay, fine. Yeah, you can just hold it, spam a little bit. Break the turrets. Okay. Alright. Okay. Okay.
Is it bad? I haven't used
play-
my ult yet.
No, it's fine. You can play left side, play left side, play left side, play left side. That's go over there. This is where I want you to hold it initially, right? Because you can threaten the enemy backman a lot easier. Annihilation's fine. Yeah, pop your E, pop your E. Don't forget your E. And your vortex.
Oh, my bad.
So like, there's a few things there, right? The E needs to be way quicker, and you also need to be paying attention to your HP a lot more. When you, generally, as a general rule of thumb, when you haven't got armor, that's when you start blocking as well.
Let's see.
Okay.
Who the hell is typing?
Try and go left side again. Go left side. Go left side. You can shoot across the choke and then move left side, basically. There we go. Move. Fine. Go check behind you. Look at your backline. Look at your team. I don't know if you can push that. Yeah, you can push that. Yeah, go forward. Go forward. Okay, so the Juno.
Oh, I missed it.
Fine. Okay. I would have gone backline here instead. Bob and I would don't really do much. Fine, fine. Chivalry stops looking at you. Nice. Okay, you can. Ooh. So this is why I kind of wanted you to going on. This is why it's better to go on Juno instead of the Malga and the Bob on point. For this kind of reason. Because it's very hard to kill a Malga and Bob as well when you haven't got much damage in the team. Okay. Alright. Fine, rotating left side's fine. Okay. Yeah, shoot again before you can push. And look at your team, and the Malga's going in. You can shoot them off maybe. Fine. Yeah, just play slow, play slow. He's gonna go in again. Try and zone off his backline where possible. Fine. Fine. And try and either honor, nice. I try and rotate. Oh, okay, that's fine. Yeah, I was gonna say rotate right side, play wide because you haven't got shield and you haven't forced out sleep dot there. So we need to go payload, play wider, play more poke, and we'll play a wider angle. Yeah. And then you can push the honor afterwards when you get your shield up. You can essentially force point pressure. We can talk about a bit later. Okay. Let's see here. Okay, go top left is fine again. You look to the soldier. Flow's okay. Yeah, just force them out. Form. Okay, fine. Try not to again pummel the Malga the entire time. Yeah, I would have moved away. Yeah, that's fine. And there's a Juno. Try look for the Juno, The Malga's dead. Break the thing, break the cage.
Do punches still do damage to shields?
Yeah, they do. Yeah, they do damage to shield. So when you punch the cage, you'll be breaking it. Just play to live here. I don't think you can live.
Oh yeah.
You really like
tough.
you really want to avoid a front to back against the Malga. Like if you are pummeling the Malga and the Malga shooting you, you will lose that every time. You really want to avoid that front. This is what's called a front to back. Basically, you're just matching the enemy tank and trying to go through them. Okay. So again, if you keep doing that into like Orisa or Malga, you will just lose. Okay, he's stomped away. Walk forward. Try and punish the soldier here. Okay. Fine. Okay. Raw shield's okay. Flow's okay. Okay, fine. Yeah, just shoot the Malga in the head. Form when needed, probably form after this. Look at the Honor behind you, She's like left side. Yeah, the Honor was like left side, she was like killing the Malga the entire time. Again, that's like an opportunity to go on the enemy Honor. If she's that close trying to help her Malga.
Yeah, my bad.
Nah, that's not a terrible hold though. Yeah, when that Malga, like, at the beginning of that fight, the Malga stomped to the right side. That implies that you've got a window or an opening to go onto their soldier or to go into a squishy. Again, the soldier was the easiest target there. Dude, that's when you like toss a slow down his way, and then you just form, and then you just burn the soldier. When the Malga like literally just stomped to the right. That's like your window or your cue to go onto the soldier there. Okay. so far, like, your E's are like, you're not using them at all really, but B, you're also not using them. When you do use them, it's a little bit too slow. There have been like, some good E's though, like there was a good E on the Juno a little bit earlier, and then you got that kill onto her. But again, on like first point attack, when like the Ashe is in open space, you can just E the Ashe, or you can E her escape path into the actual room itself, and you can sort of get away with that, or catch the enemy Ashe because of that. But yeah.
Remember what we're fighting for.
Okay. Yeah.
Hello.
We can scout where they're running. Yeah, it seems like Kiri, Malga again. See how it goes here. Spam Malga fine. Play a little bit more. Yeah, should have played a lot more distance there and play far away. Shield's not great. Back up, yeah, keep backing up, keep backing up, keep backing up. Okay. Fucking that helps, that's fine. Sure. Okay, fine. Engage on this Jonker, I suppose. Okay.
What's
Suck. Yeah.
Oh,
So like
I was
you're
gonna try.
playing. Look at the enemy comp, right? They have not got much range at all. You can outrange them. You can essentially let the Junkrat cast Malga walk into you, hook them up at distance, and then form afterwards. The engage there wasn't terrible. Like you could have used your E onto the Junkrat maybe a little bit earlier. It's not a terrible engage, but again, you're not a sort of tank that can you're very easily able to fight or brawl into a Malga that up close. Okay. Yeah, I'll just play second point. You're not winning that. Just go to high grounds. Go to high grounds. I would leave. Your team haven't got any trades. Yeah, and you're dead. Even the high ground is really important. Okay, and again, if you try and front to back into cast Junkrat Malga, you will just lose. Okay.
Yep.
Use your high ground advantage here. Okay, cast it to the left. Cast it to the left. Let him shoot a little bit. One shot here. I mean that's fine. Like when you see when they're close enough, or when you can actually see an opportunity to drop onto them, then you can drop with your form and your vortex. Okay, that's not ideal. Yeah, kites out. Give space. Kites out. It's a high noon and a Kitsune rush. I'll just run away. And a tire too. It's the ultimate. Okay, you can go up to high ground again. Okay. Maybe look for a drop engage here. There we go. Go and cast. Nice. I should have kept your form there. Then you could have actually gone onto the Juno if you had to kept your form. Okay, yeah, not great movement against the Malga. Need to live. Again, don't front to back. Try to look for a squishy past the Malga.
Pardon?
Try to look for a squishy past the Malga. Don't just keep shooting the Malga here. This is when you need to be looking for a squishy. There we go. That's fine. Right, you can come to Kiri, maybe Juno. Get Kiri CP'd. Fine. Okay. Kill the Juno here. You got a vortex in 3. Try and vortex her. Okay, unfortunate. Shield to live, just live. Nice. You cannot keep shooting. If you keep shooting the Malga there, you're not getting that Junkrat kill. You're not getting that Juno pressure. Then you will lose if you keep shooting the Malga. Okay, yeah, just play high ground, you're fine. If the Junkrat's punishable, then you can go into him. Well, anyone's punishable here, then you can go into him. Yeah, you can go to cast maybe. He's too far. You could go back and get it. Yeah, that's fine. I go in theory, that's fine. You can roll CP. You can maybe
Wait!
Okay.
Should I annihilate?
Yeah, I would have done it way earlier, but CP's been used. Okay, not great movement. So yeah, there's a bunch of micro here that makes it a lot easier for you to lift that. So when he stomps onto you, then you can when he stomps onto you, you know Kiri's already used TP. So he stomps onto you, press your annihilation, then you destroy the enemy Kiriko, and then you weave your punches against the enemy Malga. Then you lift that. And then you can sort of shield dance afterwards. You can cancel your annihilation, then shield dance afterwards. There's a bunch of micro there that we can go over. Okay. Let's see. The Icon here again. Fine. Again, okay, you're down 1. Just don't drop. Just keep the high ground. Keep the high ground. Keep the high ground. Keep the high grounds. Just leave. Just do nothing. Just do nothing. Just play to live. Your team's there's 2 ultimates have been used. Just go back to the other high grounds. Fine. Yeah, force up the drunk right there if you can. Okay. And yeah, it seems just falling over there. Maybe you could have looked for a trade, but they used Kitsune and they used Sainun there. Maybe you could have dropped and looked for a trade there at the end. Okay, try and touch cart. Fine. Run Juno. Nice. Yeah, that's gonna be caught there. Oh, they haven't caught yet. Try and get back to cart possible. Probably gonna die though. Yeah. Okay. Let's see.
Just have help, you don't see now.
Yeah, it seemed like clutching it up.
Nice.
Okay. You go back to high ground here.
There's high ground on this one.
That you can stay. You can start that at the beginning, and then when they walk past you, then you can go back to the back high grounds. So you can start here. Just look at where they're coming from. The scouts. The Drunkard's flying in the air. Okay, Lee,
Bro, no way!
Okay, play to live. The wrong park, but it's fine. Okay, go back here is okay. Alright. They can go on Juno here. Okay, that's fine, yeah? Try and go for Juno where possible. Okay, shield, form. Okay, with a shield, you're fine. Nice. Just ban Mago. Okay, you might die here. Okay. Skill's okay. Fine. Annihilation's okay here. Okay, you're off HP. Okay. Get a mega. I get back to heights. Okay, yeah, now you can go and do go nice, really good spot there. Really good spots. And one more punch, nice, she's dead. Try and get the mega to your left if possible. Yeah, get that mega. And then go back to carts. Blow up anyone on carts. There's a drunk out to your top left. Ignore the tracer for now. Fine. You can start the carts. Nice. Yeah, that spot onto the Juno there was like really good, but I need to see more of that. I wanted more of that throughout the entire game.
Yeah,
That spawn to the Juno was good. There's a bunch of micro that we can go through there as well. Okay. So yeah, if you can give me that code. Wait. Let's. There we go. Yeah, I think if you can the way you find the code is you should be able to find it. There we go, great. Copy. Alright, there's a lot to go through this game.
Ready for battle.
Alright. Wolves. Bangs on. So actually, I think I want to start with second point defense because I think that was like the chunkiest part of the thing with the game, and there's a lot to go through that. So we'll start over here. Okay. Keep the junk right here. Fine. Nothing crazy. I'd say there was a Cassidy over here. I'm not sure again if you spotted it, but there was a shot that went off by the Cassidy, I think. If I go back a little bit. Here. Yeah, there's literally a Cassidy, right? So it's like awareness of this kind of like when he's or flanks around you is really, really important. Because one of the main reasons why you're on this high ground here is for scouting purposes, to see where they're coming from. And again, if this cast doesn't know you're here on the high grounds, let me get my FN up here real quick. But if this cast doesn't know that you're on the high ground here, and maybe he just walks up here for free, then you need to know that, because then you can very easily punish him and catch him basically. And then do a similar kill to like what you did there against the Juno. So yeah, of course he just shot one shot here and then left. Thank you. Where was it? It's like a tracer shot here I saw or something. Somewhere here. Yeah, he shot here somewhere. Then I asked you to look around basically. But yeah. Okay. Get up here a little bit more. Okay. Yeah, so did you accidentally jump off here? Or drop off?
Yeah,
Yeah, yeah.
yeah, accidentally.
Let me ask you this. When would it be a good idea to drop off the high grounds?
One as a support or just a squishy general position.
Right, so like the key thing to like understand or get here is that there's certain triggers that will allow you that you'll see in the game that will tell you visually or implicitly to actually engage and drop off the high grounds. One of those things is, again, the main thing here was positional, right? In other words, how close are they? Right, so obviously if you're standing here, if I zoom out, right? And look how far the enemy. You're not catching this Juno. It's impossible. And in fact, in team play, this becomes really high level because there'll be this team here on this Malga team. If they're good, wow, high level, they'll essentially want you to drop off here. They'll do some kind of play that will force you to drop. So maybe a Malga will path over here and try and stomp you off and then try and bait you off, right? Or something like that. They will essentially force you to drop off it to create space for the backline. But in this kind of elo, you haven't got to worry about that for now. Just look at where the enemy Juno Kirikou are pathing and drop off when possible. Of course, this was just accidental. But it's something it's a mindset thing that's really important. And when we'll go over the first point attack, that's something that's also really important too. Because there were opportunities where you could have slowed, throwed out your vortex and then aggressed onto a target, which are again kind of missed opportunities that we didn't get to see that. Okay. Here against the Kitsune and the castle here, basically, Leaf, you are not winning this fight. Like, it's not happening. Like, your Morio's already dead here, but your team aren't matching ultimates. You're gonna lose the front to back, as I kind of mentioned, right? You can't really shut down a high noon. You're not playing Orisa to where you can javelin the high noon or something. Like, there's no counterplay to this really. Or not things you can do. So yeah, you can just run away here. That's fine. You can also just path around here and go back to high ground, right? What's stopping you from going? It's kind of a rhetorical question, right? But like, there's nothing stopping you from going back here and going up here, right? If I look at their comp, right, they haven't got much mobility, right? I mean, sure, Kiriko's got some mobility. Sure, the Junket can like line up. Sure, Malgo's got he's got Stomp, right? And there's a bit of mobility, but like these guys aren't gonna spend their time to try and force out from high ground again, you know? And hypothetically, if we played this through, let's say you did actually go back high ground here. Let's say you did go back to high ground, so we'd be over here. First off, the Junket would never be able to do this. He's basically a free kill. You can form, you can do this in Mike, you can do here. If he still ties this, you can form and then block, and then this tile will do nothing, so you'll be fine here anyways. But this kind of thing, look what your Genji does here, by the way. Like this is the key thing, right? Where you go back to high ground here. These guys are free kills, but let's say these guys aren't even on the high ground here anyways. Let's say they fucked off to low grounds. This is where you can start looking for a drop engage, right? Of course, it'll be after the high noon finishes, but I think he's coming to the end of his high noon here. Roughly. So there we go, right? It's like right about now. Now you'd vortex, drop, kill these characters. But because of the position you're currently in, you're not in a position to be able to do that. Not only are you half HP, but again, you're too far away from the enemy Juno and Cass, and you're not in a position to punish them from high ground. You can't like drop engage onto them, for example. And by the way, it's very similar to other tanks. Like this concept, this idea, isn't just associated with Ramattra. If you're playing Winston here, it's the exact same thing. You drop off, you taser them, you bubble, you jump out. If you're Orisa, you drop javelin, spin, and then fortify out. That kind of thing as well. If you're playing Queen, same idea. You drop, look for a knife, axe them if you can, and then shout to sustain and live. It's the exact same thing on different tanks. You're just doing it in different ways on, again, different tanks. But yeah. Which is unfortunate, because again, look at your Genji and Solji, like, had you been on this high ground here, you would have been able to catch the Kiriko, and maybe even the Junkrat here too. Which is, again, a bit unfortunate. I think your frontline is dying because of... yeah. There we go, you look for that's a good trade there at least, right? But, again, bit of a missed opportunity there. And again, if I ask you, like, why did he not, like, path back to high ground here, during the Kitsune rush and high noon, it's probably because you never thought about it, I assume.
Yeah.
Yeah, you never really came up as like a a thing to do here. It's not like you kiting back is like bad or like it's a blunder or anything. It's just a missed opportunity. That's what it really is. And again, you could have gotten 2 or 3 kills this fight instead of 1. Is how I would look at this. So, yeah. Okay. Speed it up here. Of course, I think you lose this fight here regardless. Because you are down on more of that fight. And the front line probably dies. Your Genji dies. Soldier probably dies. Yeah, there you go. And then you're forced to give up some space. Yeah, generally as a thing, as well, is that your movement against Malga is really not great. So, one thing you can do is play around or position your character model around sharp corners and turns, because Malga can't, like, he can't, like, maneuver around sharp corners or turns himself, right? So you can essentially put yourself here, and it's really, or like closer to here actually, and it's actually quite hard for the enemy Malga to like curve his stomp around the wheelbarrow and actually hit the stomp. Whereas here is actually very easy for him because you're directly out in open space. It's very easy for him to line up the stomp and sort of catch you here. So that's one thing I'd say about stomp, is try and position your character model around like pieces of cover. So like could be here, could be here, could be here. That sort of again allow you to cut off the stomp part thing here essentially, because it is a bit awkward and clunky to use stomp and path around these kind of objects. So yeah. And like had you been, you know, strafing more to this sort of like a big ass pillar here, then you probably would have been fine. There's also some other micro as well that we'll get into about stomp as well, because there have been times this game when you were in Nemesis form, you were punching somebody, and then Malga would all of a sudden come out of nowhere and stomp you and take away like half your HP. Which hopefully we will get into a little bit later. Okay. Also, got pro lessons here. This was the fight, and this is what I was mentioning at the beginning before we even played the game about let's talk about the shield as well. I think the shield's fine. About like how, you know, shooting Malga here, fine. I think shield says, yeah, shield's good here. You're low HP, Malga's in front of you. I think it's an okay shield. Again, had you not been stomped, I think there's a good argument you wouldn't even be needing the shield in the first place. And there's a saying, I'm not sure if I said it to you last, I don't think I did because it applies to tanks mainly. But it also applies to supports, I suppose, too. But bad positioning will force bad cooldowns. In other words, because you put yourself in a bad position here on low ground and you get stomped, you're forced to put a shield here. So this shield's not bad, right? But again, had you not been stomped, you don't need to shield this. And again, a shield would be really, really nice. But you tell me, how could you ideally use shield here against the enemy comp? Or in the situation? How would you like to use shield?
Pardon? You lagged out for a second.
Yeah, how would you like to use shield here had you still had it?
To cut off the enemy's heals or cut off the Malga's E.
Right, yes. So like when he's eating, cut it off, right? Or you can do heals as well, that's fine. It's better into like Ana and Zen and less mobile backlines. But yeah, that's something else you could do. Or you can just do it in front of the cast. Right? In other words, allow it to help you walk up and take space, basically, and sort of go onto the enemy backline without needing to take a lot of damage to your HP pool. But yeah. In other words, in the situation you find yourself in, shield's not bad, but again, ideally, you don't get stomped in the first place. Here though, the big sort of error is how much you look at the Malga here. So it's 1234. How long do you look at the Malga for? Or 1235. How long do you look at the Malga for? Kill Malga, 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 kill Malga. There we go. Now we've stopped. So 9 seconds of just shooting the enemy Malga. What did you achieve? You know, like you barely got his armor off, and arguably that wasn't even you. Like your damage is halved into armor, not to mention. So you're not doing much into armor regardless. You're doing 50 DPS, which is not great. So like I guess the question there becomes, why are you shooting at the Malga so much, and what should you have done here instead?
I don't know. I figured that if I walk past the Malga, he's just gonna get a stomp and give me back shots.
Okay, well, I guess we can talk about that in a moment, about like why that is. So like I think part of it is micro based. So if you go backline here, and let's say you walk past it, part of it is the shield itself. So part of it is like the shield will sort of protect you here. Another part of it is you'll just use natural cover. So you'll be using this wheelbarrow, you'll be using, again, this sort of pillar here, this pillar here maybe, even cart if you get onto it as well. That will block off the enemy Malga and make it awkward for him to sort of turn around and stomp onto you. But let's say that actually did happen, right? Let's say you walk here, and you move over here, and Malga wants to stomp you, right? What does that do for your team? As in, if Malga turns around and looks to stomp you, is that good for your team? Am I still going out, or... Oh, wait, you're... Oh, good. Yeah, okay, Discord is being weird because I can see...
Yeah.
Yeah, slight connection. It was fine during the game, but relatively fine during the period.
Oh, I reconnected it.
There
I
we
think
go.
it's spec.
Yeah, you sound better. Yeah. Yeah. Basically, yeah. If you go onto the back line and Malga goes onto you, what does that do for your team? Is that a net positive to your team?
Probably, yeah, because it gives them space to walk up.
Exactly, right? So if you go here and Malga goes here, your Moira can now all of a sudden swing really, really far without worry of being burned by a Malga, or even better, without worry of just being held down by, you know, the Junkrat or the Kiri or the Juno here at all. Because their space control has now gone from this area, or we can draw it like this, has now gone from this area to now this area. Just by virtue of you walking up like this, right? Now, if you're scared about taking back shots by Malga, firstly, don't worry about it. When you enter Nemesis form, you've got so much armor, and Malga's damage is halved into armor. He does nothing into armor. Just a little bit of healing by your supports, and it'll go a long way. I mean, you've got both your supports with you. Like, a little bit of healing is all it takes, and you'll be fine. So I would not be worried about Malga backshotting you. The stomp is what becomes a little bit more scary, because then you can't block anymore. But again, hopefully, as I've kind of alluded to, there are certain tricks or certain things you can do to make hitting their Malga stomp harder, right? So if you play on cart, if you play around the wheelbarrow, right? If you play around like these sharp corners that Malga just can't stomp you at very easily, you'll be fine. And it'll be easier to play into Malga. It's kind of the point here, and we can even extend this to Orisa as well to some extent as well. If you're playing against Orisa, right? Still, her own damage is still halved into you anyways, and Javelin then becomes your only sort of point of concern. But even then, even if, let's say, worst case scenario, Orisa Javelins you, all these characters are looking at you now, you can live that. You're Ramattra. You can just block and you will live that. You've got so much to stay in, it's kind of crazy, right? As long as you don't block too late, you'll be able to live 4 people worth of aggro. So yeah, I think you'll be completely fine, so to say. And not to mention, you're also playing into a Juno Kiri backline. This backline does nothing to you. You're not playing into Ana Zen. You know, you're not playing into a backline where you need to be a lot more... You can't just walk onto them for free, you know? You do need to be a lot more cautious about how you approach that sort of matchup and how you approach the micro there. So, like, it's not to say that you can't walk in their backline. It is to say, though, that a lot more of the micro will come down to your shield and how you use cover and how you use your form, basically. That's how the micro will come down to, right? Because again, this backline you can just walk onto for free. But again, against Ana, it's really, really important you block the sleep with your shield. Otherwise you might as well just be playing Winston or something. Or Orisa. But yeah. And eventually, you do go backline. Right? So I think it's partially because of the casino here. But look at right, look at that. Your Moira just got burnt because you didn't draw any aggro, right? You were doing nothing as tank. You drew no space, right? Like if you go here and the Malga goes onto you and he cages you, your Moira's gonna live, and you're gonna live because you're a Ramattra. So your Moira doesn't die there because of your actions. Here eventually you do go back line, thankfully. And Malga's very tunneled on his own cage here. But yeah, like you did so much more by the second you went backline. But yeah, it's kind of unfortunate that again you keep front to backing the enemy Malga. And if you get stomped, if you get burnt, it's probably a skill issue in terms of you not avoiding the stomp or you not playing your armor correctly, and you're not blocking what's in front of you, and you're just blowing up because you're not using your block correctly. But yeah. There was some micro here later on defense as well that I wanted to go through. We'll see here. As with Annihilation man. Okay. So yeah, Malga, you had zero awareness Malga's behind you. And again, this is why the whole skeleton thing is just so important, because again, if this guy is able to stomp you off the high ground here, you're in big trouble. Like he knocks you off the high ground, stomps you, like you're in big shit. So again, very little awareness of where the enemy Malga's coming from. Similar to the casting we saw earlier. And again, it's just visual cues, you know? It's just what you can see and what you can hear. Like even when I was watching your scuffed 720p 30 FPS Discord screen share, it was actually probably higher as mine's Discord Nitro, right? But even through screen share, I recognized the enemy cast shot once and he was there. So yeah, just a little bit more awareness on cues, what's going on your screen. Okay. Alright, so yeah, the cast was like rolling through here. I think it would have been okay if you wanted to punch the cast here. It really depends on where the rest of your team are playing. And obviously, right, I mean, your Genji's not back yet, right? Maybe your Moira and your Kiri can help you, right? Still a bit risky to go for the cast there anyway, so I don't want you missing that out. Okay. Here though, yeah, I mean, this is like kind of free, right? They're very, very close to you. They can't really punish you. Kaz can't punish you. Malga can't punish you because he's not looking at you. So yeah, free kill and backline here, basically. Okay. And again, it's a small thing about the stomp here, right? But again, you can hear the Malga like sort of have a sound cue animation where like you'll see like the wind like sort of going past him the second he activates the stomp, and then when he does that, you just play here, because again, we play as close to the hay bales as possible, because again, it's really hard to curve the stomp. But yeah. Okay. And here it was like, I think Kiri used TP here, I think. He used to here for sure. Here you can essentially be interweaving your punches while in full. And again, here's like the big micro thing. So there's a few things with micro. The first one is when you pop Annihilation, you get fresh armor. And the fresh armor is important because in Malga, again, he can't do much to you. Secondly, when you pop Annihilation, that means that your current Nemesis cooldown, this cooldown resets. So all that needs to happen here is you press Q, you enter Annihilation. Now you live in Annihilation for 8 seconds, because that's how long your Nemesis form cooldown is. So I will draw it out like this basically, because it's gonna get kind of complicated. Okay, so you press Q, which is Annihilation, and then 8 seconds, and then you press left shift, right? And then after that ends, or after the left shift ends, then you shield. And then you can just like play, and you can shield dance and play to live, right? Or you can kind of do it the other way around. You can press Q, live, seconds, shield, then form. So you can do that way around as well, and you essentially get 2 Nemesis forms because of that. You get that Nemesis form here, and you get this Nemesis form here as well, and that's what 275 armor each side, which allows you to live. So that's kind of the micro here essentially, in terms of how you can cycle your cooldowns here basically. Is that your shift, your ultimate, your Annihilation basically gives you another Nemesis form if you're able to live in your Annihilation for 8 seconds. So that's the micro there. So yeah, I think it would have been more than reasonable to press Q here and then sort of pummel the enemy Kiriko. And you should have been fine here basically based off of that information. But yeah. Here it's a little bit too little too late, because you're already down to like 90 HP and whatnot. So a little bit indecisive there, or like a little bit lower than that actually. But yeah. After this, I would have after the stomp as well. So again, let me see. You're still blocking when he stomps. Like when he's stomping, stop blocking, right? And then you can actually avoid and dodge out the slam. And also when he's stomping, he's not shooting you. So this is where I would cancel my Annihilation and then shield afterwards, and then get my second sort of Nemesis form, and then start that cycle again. There's a lot of micro here, but essentially, look at the visual aggro on your screen that tells you, hey, I'm gonna stop blocking, I'm gonna avoid the stomp here, and then after you avoid the stomp, you cycle your cooldowns, so then you cancel your Annihilation, shield up, you pop your form, and then you live again. So that's the key thing.
Yeah.
Okay. Alright. And how you done that, the Kiriko just dies. And then there's a Mega Hero as well that you can cycle around as well. Okay. Let's see here. Right. Let's see, you got the Paragon here, I think, yeah. Right.
Greetings.
Okay. Again, this is scouting, right? I want you to look around a lot more, right? Not just what's directly in front of you. Yeah, your Genji's feeding though. This is just, he's not feeding. Okay, leave, yeah. I said AFK. I literally said do nothing here. I just said do nothing because I don't want you getting chunked down. I don't want you dropping off high ground here. I don't want you doing anything. No one in here is killable. I mean, technically the Juno is, right? But you're putting yourself at way too much risk by dropping down here. That's why I said do nothing. I wouldn't even use your E. I wouldn't even use it because you're not aggressing off of it.
Yeah.
Okay. I'm not even sure. Did you notice that? Yeah, okay, that's a shoulder soldier there. Like now, had you had your Vortex, now would be the perfect time to use it, right? High Noon has ended. They're out Kitsune. You press E on this Juno, and she blows up and she dies, right? And just dies, right? Also, if you drop on the high ground here, how is that also useful?
Because I can force her off.
Right? What else? Who can't go onto you?
Malga.
There we go, right? If you play this shit again, more of a reason to go on backline here, right? If you drop one down here, this guy can do fuck all to you, right? He can't do anything. He has to shoot you while you've got 5 billion armor and he can't do anything to you. So that's the key thing here. Is again, like that Vortex there kind of allowed you to, not allowed you rather, but it forced you to miss this opportunity onto the enemy Juno, who's clearly very killable. So yeah, been unfortunate there. Again, why did he Vortex the enemy caster earlier, actually? Why did he Vortex him?
I figured if, like, he had there in Kitsune and I just put Vortex on 2 people, it'd stop them running over my team.
Right.
And give them more time to retreat.
Yeah, so, like, because the cast is so far away, like, the cast was literally, like, 10 trillion years away, and look at the Kitsune is literally in their spawn, but because they're so far away, you don't need to use it to slow them down. Also, the slow on Vortex is, like, very minimal. I say it's very minimal. But this guy's already in Kitsune, he's already in Hypering, the slow's not going to do much, and he can kind of move around it anyways. Like, it's still some value by doing it, but again, it's nothing crazy. You'd much rather it, like, use it again here onto the enemy Juno. There's a lot more value to be gained here compared to here. Now, maybe conversely, right, maybe, let's say the cast went up to high ground instead, and he went up the elevator, and your team was like playing here, right? And he just caught your team off guard, right? Then Vortexing might make a little bit more sense because he's a lot more dangerous. And he's a lot closer to you and your team. But in that situation, you're fine. You don't need to do anything. You're also playing 2 supports with escape cooldowns, so they're fine too. Like, yeah, you haven't got to use your Vortex for that. It's literally why I said just do nothing. Like, just AFK. You can fucking type if you want to. But yeah, that's why I said just do nothing, because I think a lot of tank players, they always want to do stuff now. They want to get value now, and it's like,
yeah,
by doing that, you're jeopardizing your value in the mid fight. I may maybe even mention that to you and Baptiste as well sometime. But it's the exact same thing on tank, which is again really unfortunate. Okay. And yeah, and here, I mean, your Mora dies. Your Genji's already in spawn as well. I think your Genji is, yeah, he's coming back from spawn because he died earlier. So this fight was going to be hard to win, not to mention. You seem to win it somehow. I wouldn't have minded. You tell me, what are like 2 things you could do here?
Yeah, I could chase Junkrat, or I could chase Kiss.
Yeah, actually, yeah, I could chase Cass. That's actually a third option that I didn't consider. I think because the Junkrat is just way closer to you, and you know you've seen him, you just saw him, so you know he's there anyways. It's just a lot more obvious of an option here. So yeah, Vortex this guy, stop him from like concussing away or like, you know, jumping away with his mines, and look for the trade. Or there's actually another option. Do you need to drop off the side grounds right now?
Nope.
No, you don't. You can essentially stay here, right, and then wait for the cart to like, almost get to cap, and then you can drop off and then look for a brawl kill similar to like we saw a bit earlier. But yeah, either of those options are fine. Stay here and do nothing, or look for a trade and make that a 3v4. And because you've got spawn advantage, you're just coming back to, you'll be fine. So yeah. What do you end up doing here though? Drop down. Means isn't terrible here as well. Again, the Malga still can't. I think some with some stomp tech he can actually go onto you here, but in theory he shouldn't be able to. So I think that's going here is relatively okay. I think your Kiri here is with you. Oh, she's not with you actually. But yeah, I think going to the high ground here obviously a lot better than going here and taking damage from the enemy Malga. Okay, he tries doing it. He tries stomping him to the high ground, but he misses. That's quite funny.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, you do get healed by your Kiriko here. Okay. Okay. Here was like, yeah, just go for the Juno, look to try and get a kill. All good. Alright, nice. Okay. Yeah, here's where like, yeah, so like this with the general rule of like armor being what dictates when you block or not is really, really important. So this is fine, it's fine. Oh, you're 500 HP right now. So you probably think you're just all fine. Like you probably think, oh, I'm chilling, I can walk forward, I'm okay. But you end up taking some Junkrat shots here. So one, I think another one here. No, actually, just one actually, and then a little bit of Malga spam. But this is why it's so important to pay attention to your HP. Because the second you take that Junkrat shot, I would have blocked it. I would have started blocking right here. And then you can maybe even interweave some of your block and then your punch as well. So you can still move towards cart anyways. But this is where again it gets really, really dangerous. Because when do you stop blocking? 140 HP roughly.
I was like, if I block here, I don't think I'll be able to touch it. So I just didn't block it.
It's not, yeah, it's like between a rock and a hard place, I think is the saying. But like, either option you choose is obviously not ideal. But it's a little bit, I guess, there are better examples of where, again, especially on third point attack, where you've got no armor and you're just punching. And then you just get one shot out of nowhere, you know? I think you get like a false sense of security the second you press left shift on Ramattra. You become like this invincible god. Not all the time. Okay. We'll see here. Yeah, your team do clutches out, thankfully. And then, back trap. Okay. And then, yeah. Oh yeah, I think this was a good fight. Yeah, no reason. Oh, then you get trapped here. I think the trap's like kind of unlucky, right? It's kind of whatever. But I think again, part of this is just because you're not scouting right now. You're AFK typing, saying don't C9. And I get it because I think that is fairly important to obviously not C9 in the cart, right? But like firstly, they're not running Sombra or Tracer. No one's gonna C9 it realistically. And B, you could have said that while you were over here, or like type a little bit faster, or like when you were coming back from spawn and when you died. So you can then you can say it right. Don't C9 like when you were dead over here. But yeah, in other words, like because you don't know where they're coming from, you're not ready to retreat. And kind of what I said here in the game was like, get ready to fall back. Like you're just doing this for scouting purposes to see where they're coming from.
Yeah.
And then you give up the high ground and then you play this back high ground here. So you end up putting yourself in like a really awkward position, like ran around over here. And you almost get burnt because of it. I think if you end up being fine here though, the shield here is good, form's okay. Again, bad position causing bad cooldown kind of thing. The Genji does a lot here. Good play by him. And pummeling that's fine. A bit unfortunate you do get off the high ground here. But pummeling that's fine. Your Genji showing a lot of aggro, so then you can punch. That's good. Which is there. This is a good pathing. Good. Thankfully you do it here now instead of, again, you should have done it later, but at least you're doing it here now. Good. I don't think you realize the Juno here. So yeah, there's a very, very brief glimpse of her HP bar. I'm not sure if you could see that or saw it. Like, let's slow it down. Like right about like literally there, like literally this like frame here where the Juno just passes on your screen. And again, I saw this on the screen share. But yeah, of course you've got Vortexer now. So again, I was expecting you to like maybe chase her down, look the Vortexer here, and then chase the kill. Just slight miss there onto the Juno. And it's not a blunder, but it is another missed opportunity. Okay, Kiri, that's fine. Okay, I think that again the movement here, the ideal movement is again to play the whatever this thing is called, right? Because again, it makes it awkward for the slam. It feels counterintuitive to say that, right? Because you're essentially walking closer to the Malga, and it feels more awkward. But again, if you're pathing into open space, it's actually a lot easier for the Malga to actually hit you. As evidenced by that. Yeah, you're fine. And shield. You can see how good this micro is, right? So this you can compare this micro to this fight over here, where you're fighting the Malga and the Kiriko. It's very similar over. This is what I wanted you to do, and what you're doing here right now. Right, so even though you're very low, the shield blocks the shots, obviously. And then the form, like this guy just can't damage you. He just can't because you've got armor and the shield to play around, and it's really awkward for him. And that's what I wanted you to do a little bit earlier. At least you're doing it now, which is good. That cage is dog shits. Thankfully, you're not pummeling Malga. Thank God. Good. And then here you don't need to block. He's not looking at you, so you can just pummel. What do you do? Good, nice. Fine. Okay. I would have played cover here a little bit. I would have backed off like this because the cast is high nooning from over here. Again, I'm not sure you knew where the cast was. So again, a little bit of awareness on where the cast is playing. Okay. Okay, knowledge is fine. Allows you to keep falling. They're relatively close to you. And again, this is another example of it where you're blocking while he's stomping. So like, yeah. And of course, when you're doing this, it's so easy for him to hit the stomp, right? So stop blocking and walk past him, right? To make sure so he overshoots the stomp in effect. And again, obviously, by doing that, you're still zoning off the Kiri and the Junkrat with your annihilation. So again, it feels more dangerous by walking forward here into a Malga, but it allows you to miss the stomp or allows you to avoid the stomp here. So yeah, micro there. Okay. I mean, block there's okay, right? But again, you've got armor to use, so again, you can pummel him a little bit more. You can look at your Genji here as well. He's walking forward. So it's after the stomp, and you get healed by your Kiriko, I think it is. Walk forward here. Like you can interweave your punches against the Malga shots, and you'll be fine. I think doing a bit of math here. What is Malga does 90 DPS per gun, which is 180. If he's got both miniguns fired. Actually, no, it's not. It's 72. I was wrong. It's 72 DPS because it got nerfed. Which is 144 per minigun. And then let me think. Oh yeah, when he gets crits, that's when it changes. So 72 damage normally. Per minigun, and then when it's crits, it's 144. But one of his guns gets crits, so we'll say like it's basically 172 plus 144, which is like around 210, give or take. That halves into armor, so about 100 DPS, which is really good for you because it allows you to walk forward here and gives you a bit more breathing room. Again, play that with block. I mean, that's going down to like fucking. I don't know how the mitigation works. I think it's just 75% in general. So again, it's like 50 DPS basically from this number. But yeah, Malga does nothing to you basically. It's good to know. Okay. Alright. Okay, this is really good. Really good catch there. Nice. There are some like pummels that I've noticed as well. It's nothing major, right? So, but I think it might be something it's worth bringing up because when you do play against players with better movement mechanics, it's gonna matter. So 1, 2. Wait, do you hold down your pummels or do you press it individually?
I hold it down.
You need press it individually, please. It's the exact same thing I tell Bastion players when they're trying to use their normal primary fire. Is to treat it like a DMR. Like a fast firing DMR basically. Holding it down means that you're gonna miss or get out the rhythm of certain pummels, like this for example. Like just take a tiny bit more time lining up your crosshair, and then this person just dies, you know. And then you can immediately go to like pummeling their Malga, blocking him if you're low HP or whatever the case may be. Again, the more pummels it takes to kill an enemy, the more HP you're using. which again could be the difference between life or death, basically. But yeah,
Yeah.
just don't very easy habit to not get into. But that's fine. Yeah, fine. Again, you can either keep brawling the Malga, which I don't recommend, or you can just pick up the Mega, then go back to carts, and then play to live. So either one's fine. And that's basically overtime. That's last fight. Okay, we'll watch third point attack because that was also a struggle. How much time? You got like 4 minutes, I swear. Yeah, just over 4 minutes, and you don't cap this. Admittedly, it is very hard to cap, but we'll see why. Okay. Right. Okay. Okay. Where do you move off the shield? You go move left side here, okay. So, this, again, bad positioning forces bad cooldowns. You're out in open space here, which forces your form. Where do you need to move? Or, like, how do I phrase this? Where do you want to be on Ramattra? And how can you use your abilities in such a way to get to that position as Ramattra?
I want to be on the left side, high ground, so the Magu can't stomp onto me. So I should shield across and walk.
Yes, right. It's not just the Margot Stomp here, actually. It's not just the Margot Stomp. It is an important part, right? Because he can't stomp onto you. But it also allows you to, again, go into these characters, right, in the first place. And bypass the Margot here entirely. Which is, again, really, really important. So, when I see your shield here, again, it looks like to me that you're not looking to rotate here, right? A better shield here would have been, like, here, or, like, here, or, again, just a little bit more further up, and then a little bit more flush with this corner here. That tells you, hey, I want to go over here, and I want to take a better angle. So, yeah. Because of that, you just don't move with the shield. You're just AFK, you know? The equivalent would be, like, just AFKing here on Reinhardt and shielding. Or like bubbling here as Winston and just shooting the enemy Malga. So yeah, and again, like I mentioned, it's this front to back that we really, really want to avoid as much as we can. And again, had you been over here, well, guess what? That front to back's avoided here entirely, right? You slow the Torbjorn, you pop your form, you burn the Torb here. If he stomps onto you, that's fine. You've got the high ground here to use. He should have missed the stomp here regardless. And your supporters should still see you. And again, that creates a lot of space for your team by virtue of doing that. So yeah. You can see, right, you're kind of getting pincered by these three angles here, which is not great. Now you go into Torbjorn, which is good. It is good to do this, right? You're doing the correct thing here, but it's too little, too late. You're half HP. He's already de-peaked you, and you're still relatively far away from the Torbjorn, right? Like again, we'd love to be engaging onto him when we're full HP, right? Which we could have done with a better shield. And also, no slow here, right? So you know the Torb's here. Why not slow him?
To be honest, I thought he was kind of cooked either way, but yeah, maybe I should have slid.
I mean, if you think, I don't even think it's cooked either way, right? So this is a very important idea called zoning. I think I've mentioned to you on Baptiste because it doesn't really matter on Baptiste that much. But zoning's really important on tank and it's really important on Genji and Tracer. But basically, like you don't need to kill the Torb here, right? Who's telling you you need to kill this Torb, right? Of course, earlier, yeah, there's maybe a good argument that had you been here earlier, then sure, you can maybe kill the Torb earlier, then fine, right? But you can still zone him off from taking this angle here, right? You can still pummel him like 3 or 4 times. You can still slow this corner. You can still make this guy fuck off entirely, right? That's still value. That's still a lot of value, right? Because you're controlling this area for your team. So when I see this, I'm like, okay, pummel once, twice, get a slow. He's fucked off, right? Now all I need to worry about is the Malga, right? So now he's fucked off. I'm gonna worry about the Malga. So I'm gonna chill. I'm gonna play slow. I'm gonna get healed by my supports, and then I'm gonna push in again, right? Because if I back this up, right, like 5 seconds ago, their map control looked like here, here, and here. But by virtue of zoning, what you've done is make their map control. Well, this side isn't controlled by them. He's fucked off, so he's gone over here. So now their map control is basically this entire area, right? Which is a lot less map control. And then Malga's gonna get cleared because he's isolated. He's split from his backline. Right? Their backline can't see the Malga. So it's really like unfortunate that you don't recognize that, or you don't again play slower here to zone off the Torbjorn, make him fuck off and control the space. It's really just space control.
Yeah.
That's all zoning is. So yeah, it's not cooked. It's really not. It's not cooked in the slightest. Of course, you getting the kill here is cooked because you're not getting the kill here. Again, it's a missed opportunity, but you're still getting value here. And let's say you did actually zone him off. Right now, you just turn around, you get healed by your Kiri, you play to live this fight, and then again you just turn around and burn the Malga, right? I'm not sure if you've got your shield here still. I think yeah, it's still probably off cooldown because you used it earlier to cross the open space here, so a bit unfortunate, right? You'd love to like shield off again if the Malga's split from his team. You'd love a shield here to block off any healing, and zone him off even more. But yeah, bit unfortunate. Okay. I guess the Annihilation kind of makes us fine, admittedly. Did you have it beforehand? Let me see. Okay, yeah, I think Annihilation here makes it a little bit more reasonable to chase. Yeah, I think it's more reasonable to chase because of Annihilation here, admittedly. But yeah, if you haven't got Annihilation, then I think backing up here makes a bit more sense. I think here's where we see a little more micro with your blocker as well. Okay, so half HP, fine, get the kill. And this is also why I don't want you holding down your pummel. Because you miss like many pummels, not many pummels, but a fair amount of pummels in the Ash. Okay. So you didn't even kill the Ash there, you just missed 2 pummels onto her entirely. Which is not great. Okay, what is that E? Oh my words. Yeah, that E's not great. Okay, and you stun block in time, right? So after the honor kill, you need to get ready to block the enemy Malga here, essentially, right? You want to have like again object permanence to what's shooting you, because again the second you kill the enemy honor, you're like, okay, I've done my job, I've gotten the kills, I've gotten my value, I just need to live, right? And of course block helps you live. So again, like it's almost like an instant reaction. It's not like you haven't got to think about it here. Essentially, it's okay. I can see I've done my work. I'm just gonna live now. That's literally as simple as it is. Which is unfortunate because had you blocked and lived that, then probably there's a good chance you might have had that. Maybe. Okay, let's see here. Okay. Not great cover usage there, but I'm not gonna care about it too much. Feels okay. Got a shield. Okay. Poke, play to live. Okay, now your Genji's going in here so you can go in. Unfortunately, happens. Yeah, you have the perk, don't you? Yeah, you've got the vortex perk there. Just throw it in the air. It's just a lot easier than just having to like guess where the Juno's gonna come from. Just try and aim it at the Juno, press E again. You get the extra damage, and then you just put it to the ground. So yeah, just don't do it at the floor. You don't need to. Okay. So had you aimed at the Juno there? I mean, you're in a 5v3 here, right? This should be 1. And actually, yeah, I think why do you ignore the enemy Juno here? Did you not think that she was killable?
I just assumed she was out of range.
Oh, right. Okay. I think part of that is gonna come down to the vortex, sadly. But again, part of it's like, you know, I don't mind if you took a glance and looked behind you and was like, you know what? I can't kill this Marga. I can't kill this Bob. Right? Just take a quick glance for awareness purposes. That's all good, right? But clearly, this person's not. Who cares about Bob here? This guy's not very killable, and you haven't got a good matchup into him. This person was still more killable and was closer to you, and also this Torp here as well is more killable than Amalga. So just by virtue of those factors, again, I think it just makes more sense to go into them. And had you done that, you can go here top down. Right, that Juno probably dies. Let's face it.
Yeah.
Right. Juno probably dies there. That Tor probably dies here as well. Because again, I think your Moira ends up getting fade forced because of the Torbjorn. Again, that could have been resolved there. And it's actually this person who keeps up this Malga the entire time. Which is quite funny because you could have killed her earlier. Like how long? Let me just count how many seconds we're front to back in this fucking Malga. So when do you start doing it? 44. 44. Look at Malga, look at Malga, look at Malga. And yeah, like almost 20 seconds. We have front to back to Malga, and we have achieved nothing. So yeah, it's clearly like again. You mentioned how like it's scary to go on backline because Malga might stomp you, Well, firstly, I've shown that that shouldn't be a big issue because there's micro you can do to avoid the stomp, either by playing high grounds or by playing cover, or just being visually aware of when he's stomping you. So you can get ready essentially to dodge a stomp, and obviously some micro with your block too. So avoiding stomp is doable for sure. And how, like, again, Malga, I've explained to you why Malga going onto you is actually really beneficial to your team. But in that fight, Malga was never going to go onto you. He was acres away, and Juno was really, really low and really close to you. And in that fight, again, we just saw you front to back Amalga for 17 seconds straight, which is not great. Okay, we'll watch one more fight here. The one fight that really sparked my interest was this one over here. I think it was. Actually, nice dodge there. Alright, poke him. He's been forced. You peek it. That's all good. Love it. He's kind of boosted here too, so just play to live. Honestly, you don't even need to shield this, right? Just play your armor. Even an nano boost, again, Magos will just be bad, right? If it gets you low, then fair enough, you can shield it. But just play your armor. Both the supports are with you. Just play your armor. You know, you're shielding on 410 HP, you know. You're fine. Comes to you anyways. Fine. Where was it? Was it this fight? Yeah, no, it was, yeah. So after the Malga, like, you got full HP right now. Where should you move, and why?
Right side or main?
Why is going main here more viable? Don't just
Because the Malga's not there.
Because exactly, right? The Malga's not there. And we can draw this out. We can sort of draw out how this fight would have gone, right? So Soldier, you don't know he's there, right? So I mean, obviously, it's a nice bonus that he's here because it means that you can slow him. It means that you can go onto him, right? It's a nice bonus. It's not necessary for this play to work. Again, we can say Soldier's here, right? I'm still gonna say easily go on cart here. If you go on carts, what is their Malga likely to do?
Chase.
Yeah, chase. When you mean chased? Who do you mean? Who's he gonna chase?
Me.
Yeah, chase you, right? So he's gonna go into cart here effectively. He's gonna match you. He might go through this room if he's creative, and he might stomp onto you, right? Either one's fine. But the second he goes onto you, then that in itself is an opportunity to essentially, again, chase out the soldier or go for backline. That's the opportunity. Because again, that's the whole point, is that you're avoiding the Malga. You're forcing him to make a play or to do something that he doesn't really want to do, and then that opens up space for you to go for backline here. Instead of, again, front to backing him the entire time, which is really unfortunate. Or if this Malga doesn't, let's say this Malga's dumb as hell. I mean, it's gold, so it's probably dumb as hell. Let's say he doesn't go onto you. That's also fine because you can just force cart, and then when you force cart, you'll get it to like over here. Then you've got many options of who you want to go on, right? You've got like a buffet of options, right? And then it's over at that point in time. So that's sort of the key idea here, is that you can force carts, which forces this guy to come to you. When that happens, then you can look for an opportunity to sort of walk past him, shield onto the enemy Ana, get that Ana, shield onto the enemy Juno, whoever you want to go on. Right? In this situation, it'd probably be the enemy Ana because she's out of position here. But that's really important to note or understand. I don't think you had shield here, as well. Yeah, you already used it here, right? So, again, the main issue is Ana. Like I mentioned at the beginning, the micro into Ana is really, really important, and you just can't go onto her, if you haven't got shield. Or again, if she's got sleep dart, so to say. That's the mistake you made here, so to say. But yeah, of course, going to cut there also gives you the benefit of giving you time to get your shield back up. But yeah, really unfortunate there actually. I mean, I know you could have never predicted this in the actual game itself, but again, had you been caught, this guy just dies. But yeah, it's unfortunate. He does it anyways. But yeah, okay, let's do a quick summary at the end. Yeah, we'll use this. Okay, so the first thing is the triggers to go backline. Which are, again, the main one that we've seen is positional. I.e., how close are they to you? And oh yeah, if they're in open space. Open space. We've also seen cooldowns. Right, so specifically on nades, or not on nades, sorry, on a sleep. and your own shield. Ultimates is also another trigger. So Annihilation. Annihilation. And these are the main ones that will tell you, or that will visually implicitly tell you, hey, it's time to go on backline. There's also, let me think here as well. Let's say, because I don't want to get this too complex. Is the thing. Let's say their backline's playing really far away, right? And you're shooting Amalga, and you can't go on backline because they're too far away, right? Arna's still got sleep dart. What do you do then, right? Because then you like I mentioned, you don't want to front to back Amalga, but you also can't go on backline because they're too far away, right? So what do you do? And I think in those situations there, it's really important that, again, you zone, and this is why I want to mention the second thing here, is zoning, which in brackets I'll say soft engaging, versus, I guess we can call, let's not really dive, we'll call it rushing. Which again we can call hard engaging. The enemy, the backline. So zoning's really important for when you can't reach enemy backline. I guess it's just physically impossible. Might be because of the map, might be because of your comp and you haven't got speed boost, might be for a bunch of reasons. So we haven't seen it that much in this VOD here, admittedly. But again, I think it's really important because you were mentioning to me earlier about how you struggle into like Bastion and Zen, and those are like really ranged heroes. This is where zoning becomes really important. And then the way you zone is you basically create a barrier. I'll be more explicit actually. You just split. You just split enemy tank from his backline. And you do that with shield. You want to put their backline in a predicament, right? If their Zen is playing 10 trillion miles away, if their Honor, if their Bastion, they're playing 10 trillion miles away, and you can't go onto them, put a shield in front of them and split them off from the enemy tank. And then you just burn the enemy tank. The reason why it works is because the backline needs to make a choice when this happens. They either need to walk up, in which case that's good for you, because that means you can actually brawl them, or they don't walk up. They still play far away, in which case you just burn the enemy tank. And again, we saw an example of zoning here, where it was literally just controlling the enemy Torbjorn, and you're splitting the Malga. You're literally splitting the Malga from his entire team, and that's really important. Because it means that you can burn the Malga really easily, and it forces the enemy backline to walk up so you can brawl them. So yeah, this idea is really important. We saw one example here on third point. The third point's attack. Okay, and last thing, we'll just say micro. So again, not wasting vortex. Vortex, so just vortex aggression. So links into the first point, right? If you want to go into a target, vortex them, please. Vortex in the air when you've got the perk. Block as well. Block when little armor. Don't hold M1 or pummels. And don't block. I'll just say stomp micro as well. So again, using cover, making sure that you're not blocking while he's stomping, so you can avoid it more. That kind of stuff. You'll pick up with this over time. You'll passively learn this over time. I think the most important one out of these is to not hold M1. Just don't do it. You'll hit more pummels if you just press it individually. But yeah, those are the three key points. Any questions or queries or anything?
No. I think this has been good.
Good. All right. As always, you can always DM me if you have any questions or concerns.